welcome to Rathods IAS Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see current affairs of 20th December 2024. Actually, there are very less number of articles which are relevant from our examination point of view in our today's newspaper. So let us see each and every article. And one more thing here is before starting this analysis, I want to make a small announcement. We in Rathods IAS, we started anthropology optional course. So from yesterday onwards, we started 3 days of free demo also. 19, 20 and 21st, we are providing free 3 days of demo on both online and offline. So if you want to attend this offline classes, you can visit our academy, which is at 2nd and 3rd floor, exactly above Vikas Book Center, opposite to the sub-register office, Ashok Nagar. And if you want to attend online demo class, you can download our Rathods IAS app and you will be getting notification at 4:30 p.m. So class timings is 4:30 to 7 p.m. Okay, and if you want to join this course, you can contact us on the number which is given on the screen, that is 8074765513. And within 3 months of time, I will complete this course for sure. Okay, now let us see this first topic. And first topic, it is a beautiful image that I see. So what is this image is about? Can you guess which bird is it? Which bird? Mother bird and a baby bird together. So mother bird is trying to feed baby bird. So what is that bird? What is the color of this bird? Gray color. So can you tell me at least any guess? It is gray pelican. So this bird is spot-billed pelican, or also called as gray pelican, and actually it has been found in this Uppalapadu bird sanctuary. Okay, there are two keywords. First one is gray pelican or spot-billed pelican. And one more keyword that I can see is one bird sanctuary, that is Uppalapadu bird sanctuary. So from which subject you can see this, if there is any organism or if there is any animal or any species in use, you will be seeing that from GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. So what are the things or the dimensions that you have to see? You have to see about some basic features of that so-and-so organism or animal, and you have to see habitat of that animal. That means where we can see that, and you have to see what are the threats to that animal species, and next you have to see conservation status. And in this conservation status, you have to focus on 3 important things. First one is what is the status in this IUCN Red List. Next one is Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, and next you have to see sites. So in these 3 areas, what is the protection status of that animal is very important. So these are the areas that you have to focus. And here this Uppalapadu bird sanctuary, which is located in state of AP. So try to make a note of this. You may get a question regarding in which state we have this Uppalapadu bird sanctuary. So in 2018, 2019 and every year, normally UPSC will be asking a question regarding national park. They will give a national park and they will ask in which state it is present. Okay, so you have to know about even national parks which are there in use, so that you can answer that kind of simple questions in your examination. And especially they will be giving questions of national parks in northeastern area and as well as South India. Okay, so now let us see this article in detail. Especially you have to know some facts, and this topic is very important from your prelims, because recently we also discussed about these pelicans and different kinds of pelicans and which pelicans are present in India, where we are attracting this migrant pelican. So all these things that we discussed in the recent past, right? So you have to just revise those things. So this image is related to spot-billed pelican, and this spot-billed pelican is also called as gray pelican. And one important specialty of this gray pelican is it is largest water bird. It is a large water bird, and it is seen in Indian subcontinent and as well as in Southeast Asian part. And habitat, it will be normally seen in this wetlands. So it can be seen in both fresh water and as well as saline water. Okay, and especially it will breeds in acacia bushes. So do you know this plant acacia? Acacia, I think many of you might be knowing about that acacia. Okay, I will be showing you that acacia plant also so that you will be getting some idea. And one more thing here is you have to see here natural vegetation as well. Acacia. So this is yellow color flowers. I think you might have played with that in your childhood. So this kind of yellow flowers that you can see, this is acacia plant. It will be having thorns. You can't touch the plant directly. So especially during the summer season, these flowers will be blooming. And if you add that flowers in water, it will become yellow color. So I think I will remember my childhood things that I did with this acacia plant. So this is acacia, and on these plants we can see, especially if you're from rural background, you can see many cranes will be nesting on this plant also, on this tree. Many cranes. So in the same way, here this bird also having this breeding sites on this acacia bushes. Okay. And actually what are threats you're having? Threats is habitat loss because of encroachment of the wetlands and because of developmental activities. Everything, there is decreasing of the habitat of these animals, and this one is hunting. So many people, they consume the meat of these birds. So hunting, and this one is invasive species. What is this concept of invasive species? Invasive species concept. So they are not present in the original environment. We are bringing them from another area and we are placing here. So here we have different kinds, like animals will be there and plants will be there. Okay, do you know this case study of Brazil? Brazil and as well as one nearby island in Japan. So actually there were number of snakes in that area. There is one island, I can't recall that island name, which is very much near to Japan. And actually because of that snakes, so they are biting the people. Because of that, they are very poisonous and very venomous. So it is killing the people in that region. So Japan government wants to control that. So for controlling of that snakes, which is the animal which will be feeding on the snakes? Mongoose. And also we have eagles. Any other things? Predators of snakes, even peacocks. So what they did was, they took 20 mongoose and they shifted to that island. Actually, that island is not the native place of this mongoose. Then what happened rapidly? Actually, mongoose are very much active during morning times, but snakes in that area was mainly active during night times. That means what happening? So rather than killing the snakes, mongoose started killing rabbits and other animals in that region, and that led to rapid increase of the snake population and also mongoose population. So just they introduced only 20 mongoose in that island. Suddenly within 6 months to 1 year span, that number had been increased to 10,000. And now there is a problem with this mongoose in that region because it is having threat to the other animals. So what government did was, again operation. In that operation, they started catching this mongoose and they tried to decrease the number of mongoose. But the problem had been sustained. There is no anecdote, or the problem of the snakes had been not solved. That is also called as Snake Island, which is nearby Japan. Okay. So in the same way here, whenever we are introducing any animal which is not the original habitat of that animal, then what happens? There will be no competitors. There will be no animal which will be feeding on that. So that there will be the rapid growth of that. Because of that, it will be having threat on the native species. Okay. So because of invasive species also, it is causing harm to this spot-billed pelican and even diseases. For example, avian influenza, which causes diseases in birds. And next one here is, in IUCN, they are listed under not threatened. And next one is in Wildlife Protection Act, they are listed under Schedule 4. Okay, so these are the things that you have to see from this article. Okay, now let us see the next article. Muda scam. HC extends time for Lokayukta to file report. So what is the keyword that you have to see? Lokayuktas. Okay. So from which subject you will be seeing about this Lokayuktas directly in your syllabus? Okay, polity from GS paper 2. Apart from this polity, is there any subject where you can see this Lokayuktas? Huh? Not governance in GS paper 4. In GS paper 4 ethics, you will be seeing this topic. And in that ethics classes, I also discussed about what is this Lokpal and Lokayuktas Act very detailed because they are anti-corruption units. So did we discuss this corruption chapter? So did corruption is there in your ethics? That means there, whatever the bodies which are against corruption in our country, we might be discussed, right? So there you will see about this Lokayuktas and Lokpals. Okay, so from these two subjects we will be dealing this, right? Okay, now tell me, so Lokayuktas are at which level? Okay, state level. That means what is the body which we have at the central level? Lokpal. So Lokpal is an organization at the central level, and at the state level we have Lokayukta. So what are the dimensions you have to see is, the first important one is you have to see history of this Lokpal and Lokayuktas in India. So Lokpal and Lokayuktas, that we took the concept from which country? Which country? Is that originated in India? No. So we borrowed from some other country, that is Scandinavian countries. In Scandinavian countries, the concept was ombudsman. So we borrowed this Scandinavian ombudsman and we came up with this concept of Lokpal and Lokayuktas in our country. Okay, so here if you see the history of this formation of this Lokpals and Lokayuktas in our country, first we got this concept from the Scandinavian ombudsman. After that, even ARC, Administrative Reforms Commission, also recommended that we need to have this kind of organization which should act against corruption in our country. Okay, so after that, we came up with this Lokpal and Lokayuktas Act. Can you tell me in which year and who was the person behind this Lokpal and Lokayuktas Act? Anna Hazare. So Anna Hazare led movement that led to this formation of this or passing of this Lokpal and Lokayuktas Act in our country. So what is the year? 2000? Forgot. Very good. Okay. So after this, we came with establishment of Lokpals and Lokayuktas in our country. But before passing of this act itself, in 1971, Maharashtra established this Lokayuktas. That means before passing this act itself, we had this concept of Lokayuktas at the state level. So this is the history that you have to know. And apart from this, you are supposed to know about what are the provisions of this act, and you have to see the features of this Lokayuktas, and you have to see members, and you have to see appointment process, and you have to see what are the challenges faced by these Lokayuktas now, and you have to see way forward. So all these are the dimensions that you are supposed to know from this article point of view. And now let us see this in detail. So actually this Lokayukta, it is Indian Parliamentary Ombudsman, and it is executed into power through and for each of the state governments of India. So we have Lokayuktas at the state level, and the central level we have Lokpals. And actually it is anti-corruption authority. And the important objective of this Lokayukta, it is to make investigation of grievances and allegations of corruption against public servants. So you are going to be the future public servants, right? So you have to be very much careful with this Lokpals and Lokayuktas, because these are the bodies that will be doing investigations on any allegations on you in the future. So what is the origin? As I said, we drawn this Lokayuktas and Lokpal concept from ombudsmen of Scandinavian countries. And even ARs, that is Administrative Reforms Commission 1966 to 1970, also recommended for the creation of this Lokpal at the center and Lokayuktas at the state. And before passing this Lokpal and Lokayuktas Act of 2013, see the year 2013, even before that also we have this concept of Lokayuktas in India. So Maharashtra was the first to have this Lokayukta body in year 1971 itself, way far. Okay. And if you see the appointment, so these Lokayuktas and Upalokayuktas, they will be appointed by governor, not by the president, because it is at the state level, right? So here governor of the state is authority for appointing of this Lokayukta. Okay. And while he is making appointment for this Lokayukta, he have to consult somebody. First one is Chief Justice of that state High Court, and next one is leader of opposition in that state legislative assembly. So these two persons need to be consulted by governor before appointing this Lokayukta. And what is the tenure? Tenure is normally 5 years or till 65 years, whichever is earlier. And one more important point here is, if anyone who is appointed as Lokayukta, so that person will not be eligible for reappointment for that same office for the second term. So what are the issues? Actually, in our Lokpal and Lokayuktas Act, there is no clear legislation. Why? Because, so this act says that within 1 year, they have to appoint these persons, but there is no information regarding what is the makeup of this Lokayuktas or what are the powers for this and other features. That means if you are having only act which says that we need to have this Lokayuktas in every state, is that enough? No. So we need to have the clear-cut provisions regarding the what are their functions, what they have to do, what are the powers, what are the features, everything. That means because of this, these Lokayuktas, they don't have complete autonomy. So this is the one important challenge. And this one is, even there is a problem regarding resolution of cases. So one of the major challenge which is faced by this Lokayukta is there is delay in investigation and resolution of complaints. Here it is at state level. So here Lokayuktas, it is entirely dependent on the state government for funding and as well as infrastructure. So because of this, whenever any organization which is dependent on the government or state government, for example, then there will be interference of the government in the functioning of this Lokayuktas, right? There is no autonomy. So again, this is one important problem. Because of that, there is no independence for this Lokayuktas. So this is second important challenge which is faced by Lokayuktas now. So what can be done? So we have to strengthen the law, that is Lokpal and Lokayuktas Act, so that we can ensure that so proper provisions are given in this act. That will be helpful for giving of more autonomy, more power for this Lokayuktas to investigate and prosecute the cases against corruption. Okay, and even we have to include chief minister and as well as judiciary into that, so that there will be no proper interference of government. And next one is we have to ensure adequate resources and even staff. Infrastructure, funding and staff is very important for the maintaining of proper work culture. That thing we discussed in our ethics class. So we have to ensure that. And this one is we have to ensure accountability and transparency for this Lokayuktas, so that we can ensure proper functioning of this organization. So this is about this topic in detail. Yeah, say this article. Delhi government imposes ban on firecrackers throughout the year. Tell me what this article is about. Can I connect with air pollution in Delhi? So this topic is about air pollution in Delhi. Okay, what does this article is saying now? We have to go for ban of firecrackers. They're not saying that we have to ban firecrackers during this Diwali or during this January 1st or Christmas like that. They are saying we have to ban these crackers year round. That means there should be no use of firecrackers in this Delhi region. Okay, so from which subject you can see this, guys? Air pollution comes under GS paper 3 under environment and ecology. Next, any more subjects that you can connect? Only environment? Yeah. Okay, governance. Government is taking some steps. GS paper to governance. Next, how economy? There is no manufacturing. Okay. Can I say it will be having impact on the society? Why? Because it may cause loss of livelihood for the people who are working in this firecracker industries. Any more subjects? Can I take this from environmental ethics? Yes. From GS paper 4 ethics, we have a concept called as environmental ethics. From science and technology, what can you? Okay. Alternative we have here is from GS paper 3 under science and technology, concept of green crackers. Okay, so let us see the dimensions first. So here you have to see what are the causes of this air pollution. So tell me what are the causes. So can we divide into two types, point causes or non-point causes? So tell me what are the point causes? Because of vehicular pollution, industrial waste or industrial discharge into air. Next, construction activities. Next, Delhi air pollution causes. Vehicles, I said. Okay, let me write here so that you will be having clarity. Okay, vehicles pollution, construction activities, crackers during this winter season, stubble burning, yes, stubble burning in Punjab and Haryana region. Next, examples of air pollution, industries. Okay, so these are the causes. And one important cause is crackers. Why crackers? So we will be getting all these festivals. Diwali, Dasra, January 1st. So all these occasions will come in winter season itself, right? So in this winter season, what happened? What about the temperature? Temperature will be low or high? Okay, temperature will be low. So what happens whenever temperature is low? High pressure area is created. So whenever high pressure area is created, there will be descending winds. Yes or no? So we will be having stable air. So because of this, whatever the pollutants which are present, what are the fog which is present, that will be staying in the troposphere itself. So because of this, it is causing a lot of disturbance in Delhi now. So if these festivals, if they are in summer season, we don't have this kind of problem. Why? During summer season, what happens? Temperature will be high, high temperature. Then what happened? Low pressure area is created. Air will be rising up. Air will be rising up. So what happens? So whenever whatever the pollutants which are present, that will be taken up and that will be acting as condensed molecules so that we can form the clouds, and obviously that cause the rainfall. But here the cloud formation will not happen, and there is the staying of this pollutants will happen in the atmosphere for the long period of time. So this is the problem. So because of this, now government said that we are going to ban this firecrackers throughout the year round. So now tell me, is that move good or bad? So whenever we are banning these firecrackers throughout year, okay, so if you see exactly, so this article is saying that Delhi government has imposed a year-round ban on manufacture, sale and use. Okay, they are saying that manufacture is stopped, sales is stopped, and use is stopped. Now tell me what will be the impact of decreasing of manufacturing. So let us see one by one so that you will be getting clarity. Tell me what happens if manufacture is stopped. Increasing of unemployment. Next, loss of livelihood for people who are working in these industries. Next, yes, decreasing of economic activities, and economic growth will be reduced. Obviously, GDP which is contributed from this firecracker industry is decreased. Any more thing that can you add in this manufacturing? Huh? Sustainable? Not exactly sustainable goals. Okay, developed status or Amrit Kal or Viksit Bharat. Okay, it will be affected. So now tell me about sales. They want to decrease sales. What will be the impact? The people who are having these shops, especially retailers will be affected. Next, their income will be decreased and their standard of living will be decreased. Purchasing power parity of these people will be decreased. That means there is decreasing of demand for goods in the market. Then what happens? Decrease in the demand, recession. Is everything interlinked? And tell about something regarding use. Who will use these crackers? Which age group? Which age group will use crackers? Who are excited? Kids? Actually, I want to show you one reel, but it is not possible here. I'll try at least. So now onwards, let us use Google also. YouTube. Yeah, see this. Watch this once. So you understand which age group will be people. See how what is expression of her. Who will be using these crackers? Huh? See her expression. Actually, there is no sound, I think so. Okay, that means especially which group people? Adults, that too adolescent people and kids will be using. Okay, now tell me what will be the impact on this use? Psychological impact on the children? Yes or no? So every year they used to burn these crackers, but suddenly if government came up with that rule, what happened? It will be having psychological impact. Next. So here we have to see about psychological impact and as well as dissatisfaction among this adolescent groups. Okay, so this will be the impact. Now let us see this article, what exactly it is saying. So Delhi government has imposed a year-round ban on manufacture and as well as sale and as well as use of firecrackers in this National Capital Territory region to combat both noise and as well as air pollution. Not only air pollution but even noise pollution, to control them, they came up. So this ban is a part of a broader effort to improve environmental conditions. Okay, and not only in this National Capital Territory region but even some neighboring states are also coming up with this kind of steps. So especially Supreme Court directed UP and as well as Haryana to implement this kind of restrictions. But there are some cause of concerns with this firecracker dealers because they had not been consulted before taking this decision. Okay, now let us see the key points that you have to remember. So the year-round ban represents a significant shift in policy, and we are moving from temporary restrictions. Normally every year during this winter season, government will be keeping this kind of restrictions of not using of crackers. So if you want to burn crackers, use this green crackers. Can you tell me examples of green crackers? Shuffle. We have three types: swat, shuffle, and green crackers. See that ones. Okay, so normally we are moving from temporary restrictions towards permanent solution, and we want to tackle this persistent air quality issues in Delhi. That means we are having a very severe pollution for years onwards. So if you are at least banning this completely, we will be addressing this pollution. And next one here is the effectiveness of this Delhi ban is contingent on neighboring states. It will be also having impact on the neighboring states like UP and as well as Haryana. Here court said that they have to take similar kind of actions. And next one here is involvement of Supreme Court, which says that Supreme Court is also addressing urgent and legal responsibility and wants to address this pollution problems. And next one here is there is also conflict with industry. So firecracker dealers also showing some grievances that yes, if you're focusing on environment, then what about our economy? Then what about our livelihood? Then what about our income? So they are having their own questions. So they say that we need to have a balanced approach between environment and as well as economy. And next one here is this ban will also encourage a greater public awareness, and people will be knowing about their responsibility of controlling of this air pollution. Okay, so that is the thing. And see this article. Amid chaos, UP Assembly adjourned sign die. Keyword. Sign die. What is the meaning of adjournment? So we have two words, adjournment and adjournment sign die. So what is the difference between these two? Okay, there are two keywords that you have to remember. Adjournment and adjournment sign die. So from which subject you will be seeing these two words? Polity. Yes, solely from polity you will be seeing this topic. We can't connect with any other subject. So in which chapter of your polity you will be seeing this? Yes, parliament during sessions, right? In parliament chapter you will be seeing this words adjournment and adjournment sign die. So what is this adjournment? Adjournment, parliament is done and you wrote test also. Adjournment. Tell me something. Balaji. Arvind. Mentioning time. Where they will mention time? Adjournment is nothing but stopping that session and they will declare when the next session will be. That happens in this adjournment. That means they stop the session and they will declare when they are going to meet. When they go and meet again. So the date will be announced. That is called as adjournment. What about this adjournment? There will be ending of session and there is no mentioning of time. That is called as adjournment sign die. So you have to know the difference. So these are the areas where UPSC will focus. They will give the statements and they will try to confuse you. So you should not confuse. Okay, so here let us see what is adjournment sign die. Adjournment sign die is ending or terminating a sitting of parliament for an indefinite period. That means they will not give any announcement regarding when they are going to restart or reassemble. That is called as adjournment sign die. If they say about timings and date when they are going to meet again, that is called as adjournment. Okay, so the power of adjournment sign die is lying with whom? Presiding officer of the house. For example, if it is in Lok Sabha, who is the presiding officer? Speaker. If it is Rajya Sabha, chairman. Okay, so presiding officer of that house will be having the power to go for this adjournment sine die or adjournment, and he can also call a sitting of the house before the date of time. Okay, so if they are going for adjournment and if they are saying certain time and date, so even if there is any urgent public importance, they can also call for the session before whatever the time they are saying. Okay, so that is the power of presiding officer. Clear? Yes, see this article. India and France sign MOU for new national museum. From which subject and what is the keyword? What is the keyword? Keyword is India-France relations. India-France relations. And this article is also talking about new national museum. Okay, so from which subject you can see about this India-France relations? GS paper 2 under IR. So do we share direct land boundary with this France? No. This comes under India bilateral relations. India bilateral relations. Okay, so do France is a friendly nation for India or enemy nation? Friendly nation. So how France is helping India? IR is done, tell me. How France is helping? So which kind of equipment that we are getting from France? In defense only, what is the name of that equipment? Yes, Rafale jets. So Rafale jets we are getting from France. Okay, so this is the thing that you have to see. So exactly what are the dimensions you have to see is you have to see history of India-France relation. So when this India-France relation they got started, and you have to see areas of cooperation. And can you tell me which is the part or which is the thing that we borrowed from this France constitution and we incorporated in our constitution? Liberty. Next, which are the items that we borrowed from this French Revolution that are placed in your preamble? See once again. So in this way, you have to see if there is any countries in use. So from history onwards, how it had been contributed for India and its development. You have to see that. So from polity point of view also, there is relation with France constitution and Indian constitution, right? So you have to see which are the things that we had borrowed from your France. And next one is areas of cooperation. And you have to see what are the challenges between India and France. And you have to see what is the way forward. And here you have to see exclusively about this new national museum. So in which area that is going to come and what is the name of this museum, and you have to see what is the special features of this museum. Actually, if we complete this, it will be the largest museum in the globe. Okay, so this is that significant. And here you have to see what are the advantage of having this kind of museum in our country. Okay, so all these areas that you have to focus. And this topic is important from your GS paper 2, as you said, and even it is important from your GS paper 1 under history point of view, history and culture. And even it comes under infrastructure projects from your GS paper 3 under economy. And even it will be improving our soft power in different countries. Okay, now let us see context. India and France, they signed memorandum of understanding, and this memorandum of understanding is about development of or to construct a new national museum in which place? In New Delhi. In New Delhi, we are going to come up with this new national museum, and it is going to become the largest museum globally. In entire globe, if this project is completed, India will be having the largest museum, so that our name in this international arena will be obviously increased. And this agreement is signed by key officials from both nations. So whenever this kind of agreement which is signed between the two countries, that will highlight strong cultural collaboration and as well as strategic partnership between these two countries. So the points you have to remember is this new museum will be serving as a culture hub. So that what is the advantage? We can increase our soft power of India and we can increase our global influence. This will be helpful for our heritage and as well as diplomacy. And next one is this project will utilize adaptive reuse and as well as we are focusing on sustainable approach to architecture as well. And next one is this name of this museum, please try to make a note, that is Yuga Yugain Bharat. The name of the museum is Yuga Yugain Bharat. There is also one movie name, I think, Yugantam. So remember that. Yuga Yugain Bharat, and it is aimed to surpass all existing museums in size, and even it will reflect our India's commitment to culture preservation, and as well as if you are having this kind of museum where we are storing the whole thing. So what is the purpose of museum? Have you went to the Salajung Museum in this Hyderabad? Preserving what? Oh, we won't preserve animals and plants there. We will be preserving only historical things, like the things like swords, guns, whatever the things that they used to eat, what are the items, everything that will be there. So if you are having time, just go to the Salajang Museum. You can get lot of insights regarding how these nizams were there and what are the items they used. If you're getting time, you can go. It will be like very worth. So if you're having this kind of preservation of our culture and heritage, obviously our next generation will learn something. Okay, because nowadays, because of increasing of science and technology advancements and developments, so nowadays the kids, they are entirely engaged in using of tabs, video games, online games, computer. Even my 1.5 year kids, they will always 24 hours they will be having mobile in their hand. Without mobile and without this Coco Melon, there is one more channel, kids. I can't remember that. So one channel they'll watch is Coco Melon. Without these, they won't. So if they are completely engaged in this kind, so can they have contact with our culture, our heritage preserve? No, right? So if you're having this kind of museums, at least if you're taking them there, at least weekly ones or like monthly ones or yearly ones, they will understand like how our earlier people used to spend the time. At least we can bring some attitude change in the people. Okay, next one here is this MOU, which is very much helpful for the international collaboration so that we can increase the respect and as well as shared goal between these two nations. And even we can increase bilateral relation between India and as well as France. Okay, and even we can increase the tourism as well. So tourism boost will be the one important advantage of having this kind of project so that we can generate income, we can generate forex reserves. Yes? Yes, see this article. So this is the last article of the day. Crimes against humanity and an obtuse Indian stance. So this article is talking about crimes against humanity. So do you agree in India there are a lot of crimes which are happening against human rights and humanity? Can you tell me some examples of that? Crimes against humanity. So can I can I give example of this manual scavenging? It is one of the crime against humanity. Next, caste discrimination. So even in some areas, Dalits or scheduled castes, they are not allowed to enter into temples. Even this tradition is going on in some areas. Is it a crime against humanity? They have their human rights, but here the people are violating them. And apart from that, even there are some case studies like in midday meals program. So whenever a Dalit woman who is cooking the food, so higher caste people in that villages, they are not allowing their children to have that food. The reason behind that is Dalit is cooking the food. So that is also a crime against humanity. And even in anthropology class in yesterday's demo, I said about hypo and hypergamy. So hypergamy is like whenever high caste girl is marrying a low caste boy. So is society accept that? That is leading to honor killings. So honor killings is also an example of crimes against humanity. Will you accept it? And now tell me some examples. Domestic violence, okay. Next. Yeah, intercaste marriage, I said honor killings, cup panchayats. Next. Next. Dowry, not exactly. Next. So here is there any convention to stop this crimes against humanity at the international level? So we have a statute called as Rome Statute. It is against crimes against humanity. So you have to know about that Rome Statute. This article is important from your GS paper 2 under international relations and GS paper 1 under history, because you have to see about the history when and where these crimes against humanity started in India. And next you have to see what is the impact on society from GS paper 2 point of view. And even because of these crimes against humanity, is there any impact on the economy? Is there any impact on economy if there are increasing of crimes? Tell me, what is the impact from GS paper 3 under economy point of view? What happens if there is increasing of crime? There is lack of security for the people. So because of lack of security, their productivity obviously increased or decreased? Productivity of people will be decreasing. Next, work efficiency will be increased or decreased? Decreasing of work efficiency. If crimes are happening and increasing of deaths of people, is there any increasing of burden on government? Yes, there will be increasing of burden on government. That is fiscal burden. Next. What about economic activities? There is decreasing of economic activities, and obviously there will be decreasing of economic growth of a country. So these will be the impacts of crimes against humanity. Okay, so here this article is saying that India need to take some urgent steps to control these crimes against humanity. So now let us see this article in detail. So on December 4, 2024, United Nations General Assembly approved a resolution to negotiate a treaty on crimes against humanity. Okay, so that treaty is about Rome Statute. But the problem here is India is not part of that Rome Statute. So India is not a party to that Rome Statute, which opposes ICC jurisdiction and seek a focus on terrorism and nuclear weaponry within the treaty. So actually here not only the things which are happening in India, but because of this geopolitical conditions, like you can see war between Russia and Ukraine, you can see war in Israel-Palestine issue, or else because of terrorism, if there is any bomb which had been used. For example, you can take example of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So how many people are died? So even now also they are facing issues. For example, if there is any industrial disaster, like this Bhopal gas tragedy. So even now also people are fighting for compensation. And even now the present generation children, they're also having some abnormality, like not having leg, not having eyes, not having the body parts clearly. And even many countries are increasing the production of nuclear weapons, right? So if there is increasing of nuclear weapons, if there is any chance of using of that, then again it causes a great disaster. So here India is not party of this Rome Statute. So because of this, India is not focusing on this terrorism and as well as weaponry in this treaty. So this is one important thing which mainly said here. Okay, so despite lacking domestic laws for this crimes against humanity, India stance reflects skepticism towards duplicating existing legal frameworks. So actually this article is saying that, as I said, there are many problems in India regarding crimes against humanity, like domestic violence, everything which is happening. But for that, in India, we are having laws. Even though having of laws is also not reducing this crime. So this is one cause of concern. So because of this, author is saying that India can join this Rome Statute so that it will be binding on a country to implement or to take the steps to control these crimes against humanity. So that is the thing. So here your work is just see about what is this Rome Statute and what are the provisions of this Rome Statute. So this is your work for today, guys. Okay, so these are the important topics that appeared in our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I'm concluding. So before concluding, I want to once again remind you that we are running anthropology free demo classes today and tomorrow also. The time is 4:30 to 7 p.m. try to attend either online or offline. So offline, you can visit our academy, which is at second and third floor, exactly above Vikas Book Center, opposite of Sub Registrar Office. Okay, don't forget. So thank you so much, guys, for watching, and please do like this class and share this class to your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Rathods Science Academy.